Let's go a little bit to the beginning. You started with dating, right? You were like the top guy for dating and relationships. Let's go a little before that. What brought you there? What was it like at the start of all your internet marketing career, all your dating career? You were an author, executive producer. How was it at the beginning?
Okay. I don't know if I was the number one dating person in the world. There's a lot of good people. But basically, I've always been sort of a scholar and a writer and a researcher, and came down to Hollywood after my graduate work and worked as a film writer and producer. And I somehow fell into a niche of kind of social issue movies on television and cable, which ended with the Kardashians, basically. When reality TV came in, they just stopped making movies at ABC, CBS, NBC.
Interesting.
Just the whole business, my area of the business collapsed. And at the same time, my marriage did. What a coincidence. Oh. And it happens. And so my skill has always been writing. I taught writing, obviously, at Stanford and stuff like that. And I found myself single. I had no idea how to date. I hadn't dated ever, really. I got married at 23, 24. And when I discovered online dating, I discovered people had no idea how to communicate with each other, wow. Which worked really well for me as a newly single guy. So I did a lot of research and was just loving that. And at the same time, I was teaching a writing class called Spiritual Autobiography. You know, it's always been my interest to see how people can consciously take their past and consciously look at their future and craft the life they want. So it's always been my personal interest, right, for myself. I've always seen life as something that you craft continuously. I never bought into the, get a job for life sort of thing. And I went to my first internet marketing seminar in October 2004 in order to teach my writing class online, because it was growing a lot here in Los Angeles, and I figured, well, I could teach it online and reach thousands of people. There I learned about a guy who was called David D'Angelo, and that there was this huge market for dating advice, which I knew nothing about. And so I quickly wrote a book on how to communicate online in a way that men could communicate both spine and heart, and I ended up writing one for women as well, and really went into the psychology of language, how we process language, how men do, how women do. There's a lot of interesting research on that. And they just kind of took off. And suddenly I was a dating expert on communication. And so had to really race in my own research, which I can see I like doing, to really get deep into what makes people attracted to each other, what makes them really connect with each other, and ultimately what makes them really be able to be in a relationship, right? Yeah. Because it takes a lot of skills and a lot of humility, I've learned over time. But it really just takes skills, how to navigate all those inevitable triggers. And especially today when life changes so fast, you have to be kind of nifty in your ability to, nimble in your ability to navigate your own inner world and the inner world of a whole other person and how they overlap. Especially if you're a sort of interesting, complex person, which most people listening, I'm sure, are.